All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring the world of Punjabi gospel music,
Oh, nice.
focusing on the fascinating journey of this singer, Thomas.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
And, you sent over this really insightful podcast interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
And his story is far from like a typical path to success.
Not a straight line, no.
No, not at all. There's a
Ugh.
lot of twists and turns, which we'll get into.
Definitely. Like, how did this guy go from wanting to be, a secular music star
Right.
to then becoming this, like, incredibly devoted gospel singer?
That's the big question, right? What led to that shift?
Yeah.
And the interview actually starts with his childhood, which it sounds like it wasn't easy at all.
No.
He talks about his dad working like crazy as a tailor.
Right.
Sometimes even multiple jobs just to,
Make ends meet.
make ends meet. Exactly.
It's really interesting, though, how that really shaped him,
Yeah.
He tells the story later on about wanting these,
the light-up shoes?
the light-up shoes, yeah, as a kid.
Even though money was tight, his parents still,
Got him for it?
they found a way.
Yeah.
That says a lot, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's more than just a nice parenting moment.
It really shows their values, right?
Yeah.
Like, even with, financial hardship, they wanted their kids to be happy.
You feel loved.
Yeah, and that sense of love and sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I think, that's something you see later on with Thomas and his own dedication.
To his faith.
Yeah, his faith and his community, all of it.
It's amazing how those early experiences, those little details, can have such a big impact, right?
Huge.
Like, shape someone's entire life.
Totally.
And, of course, music was a huge part of Thomas's world from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
He was drawn to singing as a kid,
Always singing.
participating in those jagratas, those Hindu devotional gatherings.
Right, right.
He even performed with his Majishan brothers.
The Masihi brothers. Who are they? I don't think
So there were these local musicians known for their really lively performances.
Okay.
And it sounds like they took Thomas under their wing, kind of mentored him.
So, like, right from the start, he's got this mix of musical influences happening.
Yeah, totally.
Which is interesting because even though he ends up choosing gospel,
Yeah,
that early exposure to devotional songs, folk music, all that,
right.
it probably helped make him so versatile.
It all blends together.
Yeah, and it probably helps him connect with, like, different kinds of listeners, too.
But before going all in on gospel, Thomas almost made it big in secular music.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he was in, not one, but TWO, big Punjabi singing competitions.
Well, okay.
Voice of Punjab. And,
I know that one.
yeah, and Soran de Badshah.
Oh, wow, I've heard of that one, too.
And get this, he was selected for both.
No way.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's got to feel.
Talk about a taste of success.
Yeah, right? You're surrounded by everyone telling you.
You're going to be a star.
Yeah, you're going to be the next big thing, especially at that young age.
Especially then, yeah.
It's got to be tough to resist that pull.
Oh, and he admits he was definitely captivated by it.
By the fame.
By the idea of, how did he put it? Dan Dalit Shorat.
Oh, wow.
Wealth, riches, fame, the whole package.
The dream.
The dream, yeah.
But
But then comes the twist.
yeah, what happened?
He talks about this visit from Pastor Sarvan Major.
Okay.
And this conversation, it completely changes his perspective.
Like a big wake-up call.
Huge, yeah. He's telling the pastor about the competitions, all excited.
I can
I'm
imagine.
going to be a star. And the pastor doesn't just, celebrate with him.
What does he say?
He basically says, look, you might get all the worldly success you want,
Oh, wow.
but without the Lord Jesus Christ, it'll mean nothing. You'll end up lost and empty.
That's pretty heavy.
It is, and Thomas describes it as like a spiritual awakening.
Hmm.
He realized his whole pursuit of fame was rooted in insecurity.
Oh.
This need for, external validation.
Needing others to tell you you're worth something.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, though,
Yeah.
was this, a sudden epiphany? Or was it,
Building up.
building up over time?
It's hard to say, right?
It is. Maybe his upbringing, even with the struggles, planted those seeds.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe the pastor's words just really clicked with something that was already there deep down.
Right.
It's fascinating how all these different influences come together.
Yeah, but regardless of how it happened.
The outcome's pretty clear.
Oh, yeah. He went from chasing stardom to
Uh,
dedicating his music to God.
It's a decision, honestly, I think a lot of people can relate to.
In a way, yeah.
Like that idea that worldly success doesn't equal happiness,
It's a universal theme.
Totally.
And it wasn't just talk for him either.
What do you mean?
Well, in 2015, he gets baptized.
Oh, wow.
And soon after, releases his very first gospel song,
What's it called?
Way of Life.
Way of Life, huh?
Talk about diving headfirst into a new calling.
That's incredible. And he releases this song even before going to Bible college, right?
That's right. He hadn't even gone yet.
It shows how strongly he felt about this.
Yeah, like he couldn't wait to express his faith through music.
Had to get it out there.
Share it with the world.
Yeah.
It's like the starting point of his gospel music journey.
And from there, it takes off.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that next time.
Can't wait. And you can really feel that passion and way of life. Like, it's not just about the music itself. It's about what he's saying. You know?
His declaration.
Exactly.
Saying, this is who I am now. This is what I believe.
This is my path.
And that's just the beginning, right?
Oh, there's so much more.
He goes on to release Ruhe Pakuda, which focuses on the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's I Will Not Turn Back.
Powerful title.
It really is like this strong statement of faith.
It's interesting, though, how each song,
Yeah.
it's not just like generic gospel, you know?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. They each dive into something specific about his faith.
So like Ruke Pakuda,
Yeah, for example.
I noticed he uses a lot of imagery and metaphors
He does.
that are really rooted in Punjabi culture.
Which makes sense, right?
It does.
He's speaking to his community, to people who understand those references.
Making it relatable.
It's exact.
It shows he's not just singing for himself.
No.
It's for them, for everyone going through similar things.
And then, of course, there's his collaboration with Sister Rohini Samuel.
Oh, yeah, on Masihi,
Which means...
My Christ. Beautiful.
That song really resonated with people.
Did it.
It did. It's such a powerful duet. Their voices blending together like that.
It just, like, amplifies the message.
It does, yeah. It makes it even stronger.
Speaking of Masihi, didn't you say there's a sequel coming out?
Oh, yeah. Masihi 2 is dropping soon.
Same duo.
Yep. Featuring Sister Rohini Samuel again.
Wow, exciting.
And from what Thomas said in the interview, it sounds like they're really, like, pushing boundaries with this one.
He talked about exploring some deeper questions about faith and doubt.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like the stuff people actually wrestle with, you know?
The real struggles.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of maturity, I think.
It does.
To not shy away from those harder topics.
To be honest and real.
Yeah.
Which actually brings us to this whole idea of Aradhana.
Okay.
Thomas was very clear that he doesn't see gospel music as a business.
It's not about the money.
No, it's a service to God, like a form of worship.
It's funny, he even said that sometimes it's the gospel singers who end up supporting their pastors financially.
It did, yeah.
It's the opposite of what people might think.
Totally. Like, who's actually profiting here, you know?
Right.
It really speaks to this deeper commitment, this sense of community they have.
It's not about individual fame.
No, it's about something bigger.
Serving a higher purpose.
And, you know, he actually mentioned another gospel singer, Sandeep Dosanjh,
Okay.
who talked about how sometimes the income from gospel music doesn't even cover the costs of, like...
Making the music videos and stuff?
Yeah, the production costs, but they still do it.
Wow.
Because they believe in the message so much.
It's kind of a reality check, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You see these big, lavish music videos.
And assume they must be making bank.
Yeah, but there's often a different story behind it.
A story of dedication, sacrifice, you know.
It's a good reminder not to judge a book by its cover.
Exactly. Or a gospel singer by their music video budget.
Ah.
Exactly.
And that dedication, it goes beyond music, too.
Oh, yeah. What about during the COVID lockdown?
That's what I was thinking of.
When he was helping people.
Yeah, along with other singers and pastors.
Distributing food, offering support.
And not doing it for recognition, you know. Just out of the goodness of their hearts.
It shows that for him, faith isn't just words.
It's action.
It's putting those values into practice.
Yeah, actually living it out.
Living it out, yeah.
It makes you think about what faith really means.
It does. It's not just about personal salvation.
It's about social responsibility, too.
Caring for others.
It's inspiring to see that in action.
But let's go back for a second.
Okay.
To that moment with the pastor.
The turning point.
Yeah, when Thomas decides to completely abandon his secular music aspirations.
That couldn't have been easy.
No, not at all.
Can you imagine?
Telling everyone, your family, friends.
Well, we're probably so excited for him.
Yeah, I'm giving it all up.
That takes guts.
Plus the internal struggle, you know.
Letting go of those dreams.
Yeah, he talks about having to confront his own beliefs about success.
Like the whole fame and money equals happiness thing.
Exactly. He had to, like, rebuild his whole worldview.
Based on...
faith, yeah.
It's interesting, though, because even though the pastor's words were a catalyst,
Yeah.
it's not like he was completely unfamiliar with faith.
He did grow up going to church,
Right, but it sounds like it was more of a routine thing,
a family tradition.
not something deeply personal.
He even says he wasn't interested in getting baptized before.
But then, after that encounter,
It all changes. It becomes real for him.
like a lived experience.
Yeah, not just something he does out of obligation.
It really shows the power of those transformative moments,
Those moments that make you question everything.
Reevaluate what matters.
Yeah.
It's not about blindly following rules.
It's a connecting with something deeper.
On a soul level.
On a soul level, yeah.
Thomas's story, in a way,
Yeah.
it reflects this larger human search for meaning, for purpose,
He went from singing for the world's approval
to singing for something much greater.
than himself.
And that shift, you can hear it in his music.
You can, yeah.
There's a depth and authenticity to it.
It's like he's not chasing trends or anything.
Just pouring his heart out.
And every note.
It's a good reminder that true success, it's not about the charts or social media.
No, it's about the impact you have on people.
Touching their hearts.
And speaking of impact, Thomas talked about wanting to take his music to places with bigger Punjabi communities.
Like the UK, Canada, Australia.
Yeah, all those places.
Wow, going global.
He was actually inspired by secular singers who have fans all over the world.
Wants to see gospel music reach those same heights.
Ambitious goal, for sure.
It is.
Makes you wonder, though, about the resources needed.
To make that happen.
Yeah, the support.
He did say there are people working on promoting gospel music internationally,
He did.
but that more support is needed.
To help artists with travel costs, production.
Oh, those things add up.
Which brings us back to the financial realities of being a gospel singer.
Not always glamorous, huh?
He was very honest about that.
Oh.
But he emphasized that the rewards go way beyond money.
The feeling of knowing you're making a difference.
Yeah, seeing people connect with his music.
Believing that gospel music can bring hope, healing.
He even shared this story about being invited to sing for just 2 or 3 people.
Really?
Yeah, a tiny gathering.
Yeah.
And he said the presence of God was just as strong there
Wow.
as it would be in a huge arena.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
The power of music, it's not about the size of the audience
It's about the sincerity.
and the connection it creates.
So as we're listening to all this, what stands out to you most about Thomas's story?
What resonates with you?
For me, it's just how open he is about the struggles.
Yeah, like the internal stuff.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in needing validation, especially in music.
Oh, totally, where it's all about like numbers and stuff.
Exactly. But he's honest about that not bringing happiness.
Which is refreshing, to hear someone admit that.
It's a good reminder
It is.
that true happiness comes from somewhere deeper.
Aligning with your values.
Yeah, finding purpose in something bigger than yourself.
And Thomas, he clearly found that purpose.
In his faith.
Yeah, and his music.
But it's not just about his own journey, right?
No, he talks a lot about supporting other gospel singers, too.
Recognizing that a lot of them, they're not in it for the money.
They just want to share their message.
He even pointed out that some singers end up supporting their pastors.
Financially, yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it.
It flips the whole narrative.
It does, about who's actually benefiting from gospel music.
It shows how strong their community is.
And how much they value their shared purpose.
It's not about competition.
It's about lifting each other up.
Working together.
And that collaboration, you see it in Thomas's own journey, too.
How so?
He talked about learning from other gospel singers, getting inspiration from them.
Like who?
He specifically mentioned Brother Jimmy and Brother Mandigal.
I know those names are both really talented.
They are, yeah, both producers and musicians.
It shows how important mentorship is.
Yeah, having that support system, especially in a field like music.
Which can be tough to navigate alone.
Speaking of tough, he was really candid about the challenges of being an independent artist.
Oh yeah, he had to figure out a lot on his own.
From uploading songs online to planning music videos.
Shooting them, all of it.
It shows how resourceful he is.
Definitely not afraid to learn new things.
And he's embracing technology, too. He talked about the internet's impact on gospel music.
Reaching a wider audience.
Connecting with people all over the world.
Through YouTube, social media, all that.
It's pretty amazing to think about the potential reach.
For sure.
And he's particularly passionate about reaching the Punjabi diaspora.
Those communities spread out all over.
He wants to perform in the UK, Canada, Australia.
Wow, ambitious.
It is. But his passion is contagious,
I get it.
Makes you want to see him succeed.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
it's clear that Thomas's story is about more than just music.
It's about faith, community, finding your purpose,
He started out chasing worldly success
but found something deeper.
and dedicating his music to something bigger.
And in doing so, he's not only touched people's lives,
But inspired us to think about what truly matters.
he leaves us with that question,
It's about what brings true happiness.
if it's not worldly success, then what is it?
It's a good question to think about.
It is, yeah.
What are our values? What do we aspire to?
Maybe it's about finding meaning beyond material things.
Maybe it's about connection, contribution,
Whatever it is, Thomas's story encourages us to be open to the unexpected,
to embrace those twists and turns.
to keep searching for what brings true fulfillment.
And who knows, maybe the most fulfilling path
Yeah.
is the one we least.
All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring the world of Punjabi gospel